In this video, I'm going to show you how you can apply a background to an image using Optics 2022. So let's open up the program. So I'm using the standalone version of Optics. I'm not using Photoshop or any other software for this process. So let's open up an image. We go to File, select Open, and choose an image. So I want to apply a nice background to this image. So to do this, I'm going to go over to the layers option so we can see that the current is already selected. And then I'm going to click on this option, which is the add mask option. And for this one, I'm going to choose easy mask. So now we have some more options which have appeared on the top toolbar. So we can see by default the paint foreground is selected. So paint foreground is the area where the effect will take place. And we have the paint background, which is the area which won't be affected. But it doesn't matter which option you use, as you can flip these around later on. So I'm just going to increase the size of my brush. And I'm going to draw around the woman in question. So try and be as neat as possible when you're doing this, as it will look a lot better. So it doesn't have to be perfect. So once that's done, you can actually click on the fill option to save time and just click fill. And if I go to the paint background, again, I got the fill option selected. Just click on it and it goes all red. So once that's done, you must click on this gear icon, which is generate mask. So that's now been done. I'm just going to get rid of the overlay for now. So if I go into the render option, and under render, there's an option called S-Grunge, which is really good for backgrounds. So once I click on that, you can see the effects being applied to the woman rather than the background. So to change this, let's go to the toolbar and click on this option, which is called Invert Mask. And the background is now applied around the woman instead. So we can now choose from a preset. So we can go through multiple presets until we kind of find one we like. So there's lots and lots of different presets. So if I just give you a quick example, we can see that the line around the woman is very, very, very sharp and looks very, very noticeable. So to get rid of this kind of sharp edge, if we go up to this option, which is called mask blur, and if we increase it, so something like 200, 250 is usually a good option, we can now see that the sharp line has been feathered out, and we can go right up to 500, and again we can kind of see it's being feathered out. So I'm just going to choose one I actually like. So I'm going to choose this one again. I'm just going to decrease that a little bit because it's not so sharp. So that's pretty good. So once you select a preset, you can also adjust them on the right-hand side under parameters. So again, we can increase the stamp size like that. So I'm just going to choose one. That looks quite good. We can then choose we increase the brightness like that. If we're not happy with the way it looks, we can also click on the little square and it gets reset to its original. We can adjust the seed to move things around. And we can also adjust the stamp. So each preset has 3 different stamps. So you can see paint splatters is this one. So you can see each stamp is paint splatters, but we can change these so we can go through different options. So that one looks okay. So again, you can adjust all the parameters of each individual stamp if you want to. So that looks okay for now. So that is the original, and that's what it looks like now. So it's a pretty good transformation in less than 5 minutes. But I want to add a bit more zing to this picture. So I'm going to go back to the layers option, and this time I'm going to add a new layer. So I don't want to create another mask. So all I'm going to do is left click, hold and drag. So I've now got the same mask applied to a new layer. This time I'm going to go to particle illusions. So there are hundreds, maybe even thousands of particles in this section. So again, once you click on them, you can see they're applied, and on the left-hand side, there's lots of different presets. So you can go through all of these, and just going to give you some quick examples of what they look like. And if you do click on one and you can't quite see it, you can go to the right-hand side and click on this option, Will Transform, and you can see Master Scale, and we can increase the scale of the object. And you can see it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and so on. So I'm just going to kind of choose one which I think looks good. So there's lots and lots of different options. There's far too many options to go through, within a few minutes anyway. So I'm just going to give you some quick examples of what they kind of look like. That one actually looked quite good, I thought. Yeah, that's a good one. And again, if you can't see the object, just increase the size and the Will Transform and Master Scale, and it should start to appear just like that. So let's try. Obviously, some of these look really good and some of them don't look too good, but it depends on the actual picture in question. So that one looks quite good actually. So let's try to increase the size of that. So yeah, that looks really good. So again, if I click on the overlay option and go to the actual image on the right hand side, we can move this around like that. So that looks really good, I think. So again, there are just so many different options to choose from. There's far too many to go through. But again, if you just experiment, you will find lots and lots of different ones to go with your picture. So I think that looks really good by itself. So that is the original again, and that's what it looks like now. So I'm just going to add another layer. And this time I'm going to go to render and then going to go for a lightning bolt. So you can see a lightning bolt up here. So I'm just going to drag it from corner to corner. Again, if you can't see these little markers, make sure the overlay option is selected. You can see it disappears. So that's going to increase the bolt width. So you can see the lightning bolts going across her face. So if I want to get rid of it and make sure it goes behind her and comes out the other end, I can again just drag one of these masks up to the section. And you can see us now. Let's get rid of that. You can now see the lightning bolts going past her. If I click that, you can see the lightning bolts across her face. But if I invert it, it goes across there. So I think that looks really good as it is. So I think if I just show you an example, that's the original. That's what it looks like now. If you actually wanted to apply an effect to the object, such as the woman in the picture, again, it's quite simple. Add another layer. And again, drag the mask up, but this time make sure you click on the invert. So you can see the white area on the mask is where the effect takes place, and the black area is where no effect takes place. So some good effects for people in pictures is the stylize option, and I'm going to go to cartoon. So that looks pretty good by itself. So some of these look good, some not so good. I quite like that option actually. That looks quite good. Perhaps that one. So yeah, that looks good. So again, once you apply these, you can also adjust the mask blur option. So again, if it doesn't quite blend in, you can either increase or decrease it. So you can kind of see the edges are being blurred out slightly. So yeah, so I think that looks quite good. So that's the original, and that's a picture I've now created probably less than 5 or 10 minutes. So once you're happy with it, click File, click Save As, give it a name, choose the file type if you want to, click Save, You can choose the quality, and it's going to go up to 100%. Click OK. So that's now been saved. I'll just look for it. I think it's in my pictures somewhere. Can't remember where I saved it now. Where did it save? Let me just try that again. Downloads, sorry. It's in my downloads section. So there it is. So that's the picture I just created, and I'm just going to give you a quick demonstration. That's the original. So you can see quite a transformation. So you can create a nice background over any kind of image or any object within an image, just like that. So that's it. Thanks for watching.